Alright guys, MTech Guy here, and today we're going to take a look at changing out the anti-roll bar end links on the E60 M5. Now, what are anti-roll bar end links? Well, sometimes they're referred to sway bar end links or drop links. So essentially, the car has two torsion bars, one at the front, one at the rear, and it's bolted to the underside of the body with two rubber mounts, and then at either end are the end links, and that bolts to the suspension. And the purpose of them anti-roll bars, or them sway bars, is to give the car some torsional rigidity, just to stop that body roll as you're cornering. So how do you know when it's time to change out your sway bar end links? Well, like any suspension component, they can become worn over time. Now, you can normally tell during an inspection, you'll see the rubber boots split or torn, and obviously that can let moisture in there, affect the grease, and then just start deteriorating the joints themselves. But normally the biggest telltale sign is when you're going over bumps at slow speed, you'll hear a slight knock at the front or the rear. So like if you're going over a speed bump or driving along a road with an uneven surface, you'll normally hear just a little knock. And that's what I'm experiencing with my car right now. I'm getting a knock from the front, from one side, but with the car being 15 years old now, I've decided to just go through and change out all the front and the rear sway bar end links altogether. You normally could just need to do them in pairs, but I've decided to do the whole lot today. So what I'm going to do in today's video is just concentrate on the fronts, and then I'll do a follow-up video where we'll take a look at the rear in a separate video. And another component you can add to this job if you choose to is there's two rubber mounts that mount the sway bar to the underside of the body. Now, I usually find that these last a long time. I'm not going to change them out today, but depending on the climate you drive your car in or how old it is, they can become hard and worn over time, and you might decide to change them out, but generally they don't need changing as often as the end links themselves. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the parts. Okay, so here we have the parts, the two sway bar end links. Now, I've gone for the Lemforder brand, and these are the OEM manufacturer for BMW. So if you buy the genuine BMW ones, it's likely that they've come out the same factory as these ones. So I suggest you go for genuine BMW or Lemforder brands. That's going to be your best bet. And one thing to watch out for with the front sway bar end links, unlike a lot of cars, they are handed. There are a left and a right, so don't just go and buy two front ones. You need to keep an eye out for the left and the right. So what I'll do is I'll list the two part numbers in the description below. Okay, so let's take a look at the steps required to replace the existing ones on the car. Alright, so what we'll do first is get the front end of the car up in the air, both wheels off, and just make sure you do get both wheels up off the ground. Don't try and do one corner at a time, because what will happen is you'll load that sway bar up with heaps of force, and then you'll struggle to get the end link fitted when you come around to fit the new one. So make sure both front wheels are up in the air, and then that'll take the stress off the sway bar completely at both ends. Alright, so now we've got the front end of the car up in the air. We've got it safely sat down on axle stands, both the front wheels off. So now we're ready to replace the two sway bar end links, and you can see that it lives just here. Now it's held on by two 16mm nuts. I'll take a 16mm spanner, but what will happen with this being a ball joint is when you start to undo that nut, the thread is going to spin as well. So there's a wee Torx fitting in the end here. So we're going to use a T30 Torx to counter hold it while we wind the nut back off. And I've just turned the steering wheel, just moved the wheels to the left here on the left hand side of the car, just to give myself a little bit of extra room there. Alright, let's get into it. that's the old one. And just take note, one end has this small chamfer on it. That goes at the top. You'll see the other end doesn't have it. You can see here we've lost a bit of grease, so if the grease is getting out, no doubt moisture's getting in, so that's probably our culprit for our noise. Okay, we'll stick the new one in. Okay, so here we have our shiny new part, and like I say, just watch out for that chamfer on one end that goes at the top. And also, like I said at the beginning of the video, these sway bar end links are handed. There's a left and a right for the front, and you'll see on here this one's got an L stamped on it, so it's pretty idiot proof, you can't get them mixed up. Alright, let's stick it in. And these Lem 4-to-1s also came with new nuts. I'm not sure if the original ones do or not, if you get genuine BMW, so it's worth hanging on to your old ones just in case. And then we'll tighten her up, same as before. T30 Torx to hold it, 16mm to do her up. This is where these ratchet ring spanners come in handy, eh? Worth having a decent set. Okay, that's the left hand side end link now installed. Not much to it. So next up, we'll move over to the right hand side and get that done. And you can see if we take a look at this one on the bottom side, the boot's got a nice tear in it, so just as well we're getting them changed out today. And of course this one's marked R for right hand side, and again just like the other side we're going to put the chamfered end at the top. Alright, so that's both sides done now. So now we can put the wheels back on, drop it back down onto its wheels, retorque the wheel nuts, and we're all done. Alright guys, so there we have it. That's how you go about changing out your front sway bar end links on your E60 M5. But this video applies to any E60 BMW. Pretty straightforward job, and like I say, it's worth changing them out in pairs. Keep an eye out for my follow-up video where we're going to take a look at changing out the rear sway bar end links on the E60 M5. If you found the video interesting or useful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. I'm MTech Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.